Well, remind me never to do that again. Anyways, hi everybody. I am Taylor. It's Wednesday night. It's the day before Thanksgiving. It's whatever the hell. What date is this? I don't know. Time is fictional. November 24th, 2021. And this is a giant mess of comics I read today. I'll get into those in a minute. A little bit of bookkeeping. I don't know, whatever the hell you want to call it. Words are hard, people. Words are hard. Today's video is sponsored by, well, me, because I don't have any sponsors. But if you want your kids to grow up to not be a dick or to know that everything in life is rigged, now's the time to buy them some merchandise. If you go to taylorwinder.com, and I'm going to leave a linkity link in the description down below, but also if I remember right and I see myself pointing at this thing while I'm editing, I'm going to put it down there, taylorwinder.com. And between now and Sunday for Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, wacky, whatever the heck Sunday is called, you can save 15% on everything on the site if you use the code HORSEPILLS. That's right. Horse pills. They're finally good for something other than horses. Deworming. No other political reasons for me to use that term, or nothing else at all. But anyways, horse pills. Save some money. So, let's get into this. And while I said I'd never want to do that again, here is why. This is a giant stack of books. I read them all today, and it almost got to me. It was almost too much. This is some books from last week that were delayed because some jackass was trying to like ransomware Diamond or some Diamond Distributing or some crap. Some from this week and like one or two local comic shop day books. So it's a lot of books, and I'm tired, and I'm cranky, and not all of these were very good. So it was a slog to get through. But I'm gonna eat turkey and hang out with family tomorrow and drink my sorrows away. And by that I mean I'm gonna run as far away from the 25 people at lunch and quickly head to like a bar and drink wild turkey. Probably not. But speaking of birds I'd like to eat, Carriers, number 1. Oh my god, this is by Ferrari and Heflin and other people. It's from Red 5 Comics, and I do not get why this is a comic. It's sort of carrier pigeons sort of going to war with rats and maybe some falcons, peregrine falcons, and then possibly, I'm sorry, I'm spoiling this a little bit, but I just don't know what the hell's going on in this book. The art was unclear. The story was unclear. And what story there was is just goddamn boring. Like, the cover's cool. I like the cover. Is enough to get me in there. It's like, oh, anthropomorphic. There's a few anthropomorphic books this week, which is, animals acting like people and doing dumb shit. I don't know. This is just this is beyond my comprehension. And like, I really, really disliked it. I will not be picking up any more of it. And this might have been one from last week. I don't remember. Again, I'm not going to do that for all of these. I just, yeah, the story for what there was just boring, and not very clear. And the art was very unclear and very uneven. There's several artists that worked on this book, and you could sort of tell they did their best to kind of mix it and meld it, but like the different characters didn't stand out, and by characters I mean different kinds of carrier pigeons, and they are all just kind of blended together, and there was no real motivation given for why they were doing anything in this book. So I'm done. All right, and speaking of books I really, really disliked, holy crap! I mean, these are all kind of, this next couple I probably could, but whatever. The Hulk number 1, Donny Cates, Ryan Ottley, and Frank Martin. I hated this. I really, really hated this. It's what if, and I don't want to get into the reasoning behind it. Maybe I don't want to yuck your yum necessarily, but you're watching my video, so you're going to hear my opinions on this crap. Somebody put in the comments down like a while back that just YouTube decided to like suddenly spit out. They're like, I didn't come here to hear political stuff. I'm like, well, you're coming to the wrong goddamn channel. So sorry, Canuck. Get your goddamn vaccine. Fucking horse pills are not vaccine. Back to the comics. It's just okay. The idea that Donny Cates has and what he's trying to do with this is just not interesting to me. It doesn't make a lot of sense from what I can tell. And then the character design of the quote-unquote new Hulk or whatever you want to call it by Ottley is just kind of ugly and stupid and like 90s in not a good way. And I didn't get it. I mean, I got it. I get what they're going for, and I sort of get it. It just doesn't. it's a large stretch to say this is like the beginning of a good nugget of story. I mean, like the idea is stupid, and how this stupid idea is going to get stretched out into a series or the focal point for this series. I don't know. I don't care. I'm done with this one too. I will not be following it. I don't even give a shit if like Donny Cates suddenly puts him on Hulk Island and introduces the son of the Hulk, and then has a Scorpion turn out to be somebody else from an alternate reality and have that turn into nothing. I'm done. I am just done with the Hulk. All right. Then okay, Brian Michael Bendis, Joy Division. No, wait, it's a Joy Operations. What in the goddamn hell is going on in this one too? Bendis is out of his mind. I think he's lost. Maybe not, but like he's substituting story and ideas and stuff with just made up words and thinking the science fiction is just making up shit that like Nurglocks and Flickily Beasts and Stigmatisms and bloody blahs. And then when there is a little bit of story here, very little bit, there's just not much to it. I mean, he's trying to plant the seed of a mystery and trying to figure out, like, trying to be very clever and trying to, set up something that's, I'm sure, going to, like, resolve in 25 issues, but I'm not going to be around for this one either. Also, I know I've said this before with Dark Horse here, paper quality is goddamn atrocious. This is horrible. This book, like, honestly, I could probably wipe my ass for it with it, and it's tissue paper thin, so no, I will not. But and I didn't like this one. The art's fine, except for like there's some panels where you don't know page layouts where you don't know if you're reading across or reading down. Fucking just make page layouts make sense, people. And if you're raking the art, burn, just have a logical progression, have a little bit of gap in the gutter, have something to give the reader a clue whether or not you're reading cross, like a 9-panel down, or across and then down. When everything is so even and it's just a talking head for a spread of panels, it's unclear which way you're supposed to read it. And I guess it doesn't matter because it didn't make much sense either way if you read it either way. So, whatever. I'm done with this one too. Man, Joy Operations. I'm thankful I'm not reading any more of this. That's my Thanksgiving holiday wish. All right. And I know I'm stealing this a little bit from somebody else. No, I'm not going to say it. All right, I'm going to come up with my own thing for this. Good Boy is not a good book. There, I'm done. Source Point Press. Gunn, Blanche, Wallace. Anthropomorphic. A dog is going to go avenge whoever killed his owner. That's the book. And then it's just dog hitmen and whatever, and they somehow can talk. There's some weird logic to it, but it seems to like fall apart internally as far as that logic goes. The art also, like, there's some facial expressions on the dogs that don't make sense with what's going on in the panel or what the dialogue is. It's very loosely drawn and very expressionistic. I don't necessarily always have a problem with that. It just, the cover does not fit the interior as far as the art goes, and the interior art just doesn't seem to really fit the story very well. So, I'm done with this one too. All right, Vinyl. Number 6. This is the last issue of Vinyl, and I'm happy it is over. This has been such an up and down miniseries for me. I liked one issue, hated the next. Liked the next, didn't understand what was going on in the last one. And it's just kind of different musical beats. It's all Vinyl. No, whatever. I can't tie that crap together. It's just a very weak ending to this story. It's very predictable. It's very kind of like, oh, it's not exciting. I mean, there's a bloodbath of serial killers and people die. It's a serial killer book, and there's music tied in and Alzheimer's. The character itself of Walter is an interesting idea and an interesting one, but this is just such a fizzle out of an ending of this that I'm really disappointed with it. I thought it had enough potential to be an exciting ending, but like it is just such a okay. There's no surprises in this ending. None. Zero. Zilch. Nothing. There's just nothing surprising in this issue. All right. Speaking of Donny Cates, Nick Klein's back, so that helps. Thor number 19. I don't know. Somebody stole Mjolnir. There's my spoiler of the day. And like, for the 8 billionth time in 19 issues, I swear it's every issue or every other issue, Thor's going to go talk to Daddy and try to figure out what's up. And I swear he just did this last issue. And then it was a fight. And then 2 issues before, it was a fight. And now he's back at it. And, like, they're arguing. And now he needs help to figure out what's going on with Mjolnir. And, I don't know. They also, like, now he's got a beard, I guess. Nick Klein is back, and he's just like, I'm sick of how I drew him before. So I'm going to give him shoulder pads and spikes and a beard, because this is a Donny Cates book, and he needs spikes and a beard, because, everyone gets beards. It's all right. It's better than the Hulk, and it's at least an interesting idea. But it's like it's just starts hitting again such familiar beats. Where you're like, oh, okay, like of course whoever stole Meow Meow is gonna use it to do evil. There's a big goddamn surprise. Sorry, spoilers. Done. All right, Black Panther #1. This is all right. I mean, the art is cool. The art is very clean and crisp and clear. Couldn't tell you who did it. I'm not going to open it. I like the Scotty Young cover. I just like this one. I don't always like Scotty Young stuff, but actually I like his writing a lot. And I don't mind his art normally, but I just wanted this one. I don't know why. It spoke to me because it's an angry, petulant little Black Panther. And there's political intrigue in this one. There's enough of a setup that I might get issue #2, maybe. Black Panther is like definitely not, like this portrayal of him is like he is a tactical genius and politically trying to struggle with like life in the 21st century is in a democracy, but also trying to figure out like machinations behind the scenes while still being manipulative, still having a secret sort of thing going on, and yeah, it's fairly interesting. It's not crazy, dynamic, or like exciting or superhero-y. And it's a little bit odd in that regards as far as a Marvel book goes. It's by John Ridley, who's the writer, and it's not bad. We're in the fine section now, and it's just fine. I might give this one issue #2. I am not sure. Let me know in the comments down below if you think I should give this one a second issue. I don't know if you've read it or what do you thought of it, because it's not going to be for everybody, and I don't think it's fantastic, but it's borderline. All right, now we have a one shot. Source Point Press, Hayes, Dunphy, and Gorman. Turkey Day. This is a cover buy for me. I mean, it's a turkey eating an eyeball. What not to like? This kind of reminds me of okay. The art by Dunphy I don't love. It's a little too cartoony, especially in the facial expressions, and it doesn't seem to fit the tale here. But the tale is a fun one. It seems like a throwback horror kind of like B movie, like Turkey Day. I could see this being like a 1950s, 60s like horror movie. Not no, maybe not. Maybe like a 70s, 80s like C-list horror movie. And it's entertaining. It's fun. It's stupid. It's like got a ridiculous ending and a deep message about how America sucks, which we do. So let's face it. Look at the actual history of how this country's formed, and Thanksgiving, it's kind of flouting it on a line. This is calling that out a little bit. So, politics, comics, horror movie. I dug it. It's funny. It's stupid. It's not probably worth picking up, unless you're just kind of want a dumb one-shot about, evil turkeys. And they're not even really evil turkeys, but whatever. I don't want to spoil that part. All right, Beyond the Breach #5, Aftershock. Ed Brisson and Damian Cuchero. I like all the elements in this. It really wrapped everything up a little bit too quickly. By a little bit, I mean a whole lot. I mean, it just seemed like rushed and like, oh, that's the end. That's the end of that. Like, it didn't feel like a 22-page book. It felt like a 10-page thing, and not in a good way. Aftershock books have tended to do this. They cram it into 5 issues, no matter how much room it needs to breathe or how much story you actually need. They just put it in 5, and they're like, more's coming, and like it makes for a really weak 5th issue. Generally. And this is not horrible. It's still better than some of the other Aftershock crap that's like Maniac in New York's first 5. That 5th issue is such a disappointment that I wanted to punch a baby. Not really. I'm not going to punch a baby, but probably not. But this one is not quite baby punching, and it does actually wrap it up. It's just kind of like it felt like it needed more story in there to do it. It still has a lot of the 70s like weird trippy sci-fi stuff in there, and like it's still a fun thing. It's just again it needed more on this one. So, but it's better than some of the other stuff I read. All right, next we have. Am I gonna do it in this issue? No, you know what? I'm gonna switch these around. Am I? Yeah, I am. All right. House of Laughter. Well, that's Slaughterhouse #2. House of whatever. Tynan, Bromwell, Deladera. Okay, Deladera's layout still bugged the hell out of me. They still don't. There's no reason for these stupid long horizontal panels. They're just not good storytelling devices, and like. Without him doing the finishing on the panels, it's really kind of gets unclear sometimes what's going on. And then there's 2 characters that look fairly alike. It gets a little muddy as far as who's who in here. And also, it is just glacially slow pacing. Tynan will do that. Like you can condense his Batman issue run into like 4 issues, and you'd probably get it all, except for you have to get rid of all the new characters that aren't going to do anything. But like the main chunk of the story, you could probably condense fairly shortly. And same with like some of the other stuff he's done. And I don't always mind that. Like Nice House on the Lake, I think the pacing is perfect. Department of Truth, I really enjoy the pacing on this one. This one is just like it just seems like interminably slow. It needs to get somewhere, and it's Aaron from something's killing the children, and his relationship in the school, House of Slaughter, with another character in there. And I'm not going to spoil all of it. It's just there's not much to this. It's really not. It's like, okay, get somewhere. You had 2 issues, and there's nothing like super exciting, no hook yet. I'm along for the ride because, dear God, I've got a spec on this. I don't want to miss out. I got the FOMO, the Froyo FOMO, but it just needs to do something. Just get somewhere, Tynan. Just for the love of God, get somewhere. All right. Marjorie Finnegan, Temporal Criminal number 7. This is the penultimate issue, aka second to last. You learn the backstory of the weird traveling head in this one. If you're not following the story, that's not going to make a lot of sense. If you are, it is, and it's not. It's a Garth Ennis story. It's all jaded. No one's good. No one's a good person. It's and the Goran Suzuka reminds me of a poor man Steve Dillon as far as the art goes. It's just like it not like really seems to be copying that style. Not doing it quite as well, and the story is ridiculous and over the top. And I'm okay reading it towards the end. I don't always love Ennis. He's about 30-70 for me. 70% of the time, I'm like, I can't put up with him anymore. Or just like his stuff gets a little too ridiculous, and I'm just like, I'm done. This one, borderline. It's got to stick the landing, or I'm going to be really annoyed that I paid, I invested all this money and time into this book. That and this one had a big bad spine tick on it, and not a great. I don't know. Like this one came up pretty damaged, and I think the LCS probably should have pulled it, but whatever. I'll let them go. They've had a rough go with this year, folks. All right. Ma number 3 is sort of starting to get some idea of what's going on the island of, and it's still like the sexual assault recovery, and men are mostly evil, which is not necessarily inaccurate. And it's interesting enough. It does need to start getting somewhere again too. Like you get a revelation at the end of this issue that like it's like okay, now we're finally actually getting to what the hell's going on, sorta. And it just needs more of that. Probably a trade paperback weight for anybody else. I don't want to talk about this in a whole lot. The art I dig by A.L. Kaplan, and the writing's fine. It's just kind of, again, it just needs to start getting somewhere. And like it sort of makes a few steps in this. I do like the cover. It's one of my favorite covers this week. It needs to start getting somewhere, and I think it will. But if you've not picked it up yet, just wait for the trade paperback on this one. It's on number 3. All right, Robin number 8. Okay, the Death of Superman book where they just punched, like Superman and Doomsday just punched each other for an issue, and it's pretty boring. That's kind of this issue. There's a lot of fighting. It's the final fight on the Lazarus Island kind of thing. There is a kind of surprise ending, and then there's like another surprise ending, and then there's another like revelation and real surprise ending. But for the most part, it's just 2 people punching each other, and it's not crazy clear. Like in order for that to work, you really need a great storyteller, visual, and like Meldikov is okay, and this is not a horrible issue. I've read worse. It's in the middle of the stack this week, and I like the Robin, and I'm entertained enough by it. And I'll keep picking it up. I think Williamson's writing itself is fine, but this issue where you just like when it's just little panel after little panel after little panel of like bam, 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 bam. It's like, okay, we get it. We get it. You needed maybe a page or 2 of that. And like, or maybe 4 to like really give it the gravitas it needs. But like, this is like 18 pages of punching. It's fine. Black Hammer Reborn number 6. This one, okay. Not my favorite Lemire book the week either. And not my favorite Black Hammer story. It's not bad. It's still better than stuff, but it's middle of the pack. It's like you're kind of getting somewhere, and you can tell he's playing around in his playground and stuff. But again, this is just one where like it needs to start going somewhere with this one. And the characters are interesting, and you can tell it's just Lemire having fun with like his archetypes and playing around with the story and stuff. And it probably will get somewhere. It's just this isn't grabbing me quite like some of the other Black Hammer stuff has done. It doesn't help that Malachi Ward and Matthew Sheehan are not anywhere near as good, in my humble opinion, as Caitlin Yarsky. Caitlin Yarsky was the artist on the first couple issues of this, and I hope she's coming back because I think that the story really needs her. I like the cover again too, but this cover, this really not much to do with the interior story for the most part, although. Yeah. No, I was gonna say I thought that was that person's in a backup story, but that's not the same character, so. I don't know what this cover has to do with the interior, like at all. Quite honestly, I mean well, no, that one. That guy's in the book. Sorry, that guy's in the book. It's fine. It's not bad at all. It's not horrible. It's just middle of the run this week. Again, this is like a 5-hour meeting fest for me, so I might be a little just burned out and jaded too. But whatever, whatever. Hawkeye Kate Bishop #1. This is a fun one. Night Camp. Sorry, and Balam. Oh my lord, I'm just gonna butcher all these names. Look, read them for yourself, so I don't get in trouble for butchering every single name on there. Fun title or fun cover. Not my favorite cover of the week, but not bad. The art, not bad at all. This is like you can sort of tell like this has been still influenced by the Matt Fraction Hawkeye run with Kate Bishop and the character Kate Bishop. You know, it's like I think that sort of helped form her. I've not read everything in the middle, but this is a fun setup to a fun mystery. I'm down for this one. I will be picking up the rest of this, or at least the next issue of this, and see where it goes. I tend to give things 2 issues, but I'm having fun with this. It's a fun issue. It's harmless. The art is serviceable, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just not. Yeah, it's serviceable. That's just the word I'm gonna keep using for this one. But yeah, Hawkeye #1, or Hawkeye Kate Bishop #1. I don't know, volume 4000 because it came out the same day as the show, which I've not had a chance to watch yet. But I will watch it, people. I will watch it. All right, Death of Doctor Strange #3. Jed MacKay et al. Lee Garbett. This is the murder mystery of who killed Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange is helping to solve his own murder mystery because it's comics, people. And there's these 3 mothers on there's the first cover appearance of the 3 mothers, I think. I don't know, whatever. Every stupid. The cover spec is one of the stupidest specs around, I think. I really do. It's a cool cover, but I think as far as specking on something like that goes, it's kind of stupid. That said, if you want to buy my Daredevil #10 first cover appearance at Echo, let me know. Interesting. This is a fun one. This is much better than I thought it would be. And I like Jed MacKay's writing a fair amount. But one of the more solid Marvel writers, and this day and age, that is not saying that much, but this is still a fun story. It touches all the Doctor Strange beats for me. It's got all the wackiness of like the supernatural, the mystery, where some of it's just nonsense. It's got the multi-dimensional thing. It's got the big threat, and it's got the trying to solve the it's got all of it. It's got everything I would want in here. I'm not reading all the side pickup stuff because I don't. No, I'm sorry, Marvel. I'm not doing that. But Death of Doctor Strange #3. It's like I said, it's been a fun series. I'm digging it. All right, Echo Lands #4. I swear this is like just came out last week, but time is fake. J.H. Williams and W. Hayden. This is a gorgeous book. I would at this point though, I would say maybe trade weight it. If it, I don't know if they're going to come out with a trade, and it'll be an awkward size trade if it will, because it's a horizontal book and it reads horizontally, and it's gorgeous. It's just kind of it's a little light on story. It's a fantasy story, and it's like traveling through dimensions and being chased and stuff, and it hits all the fantasy trope beats you want out of there with a few wrinkles in there and enough to make it exciting. But like, I'm 4 issues in, and I feel like I definitely need to go back and read issues 1 through 3 again, because I'm like, what in the hell's going on? And even though I swear it just came out, I'm still kind of like I need a refresher. And it's visually dense, story-ish light, but with enough stuff that I think you're better off reading it in one big chunk. It feels like I'd read better in that way anyways. But the art almost makes up for it. I mean, it is probably the best. Top 2 or 3 as far as the best art of the week for me, or most interesting. Art's subjective. It's all subjective. Never mind. Everything's subjective. It's all subjective. All right, Radio Apocalypse #1. This one did come out last week. It's Ram V and Anand RK. I'm not sure how you pronounce that last name either. It's the end of the world if you know it. And there's a radio. I'm along for this one. I trust Ram V. The art stylized, and I like some of it a lot. I like the color palette a lot. The figurative stuff, some of it lost me, where I'm like confused from there's some times where I couldn't tell if it was one figure or the next. It was almost too abstracted in that way for me. I went to art school. I love making art, but comic art is not art. You need to be able to tell a story with the comic, and it should be clear and concise, I think. And it's not always clear and concise in here. And the story, it's pretty light on story. It's still better than the majority of the books here, but I know some folks had it at the top of their list when it actually came out last week. I don't think it's quite there yet. I'm excited to see where it goes, and I'm sure with Ron V it'll go somewhere interesting. It's just, it was an okay first issue. It was okay. All right, Not All Robots number 4. We're getting there. I think there's one more of this one. This has been one of my sleeper hits of the year. Might be in the top 5 miniseries of the year. Mark Russell, Mike Deodato Jr., Lee Loughridge. It's a satire, and it's speaks to today's society in a lot of different ways. The art by Deodato, it works for the story. Lots of like Robotech-y looking robots and stuff. More like MechWarrior, actually, probably. And the humans they're all kind of vague and sort of interchangeable in ways, and it's a flip on the whole like the robot uprising thing. And it's got a few things to say about people and how awful we are, and not bad. I'm interested to see where it goes. I've loved the covers of this one too. This is probably my least favorite cover of the bunch or of the series thus far, but it's still a pretty fun read. And I think there's one more left. And I'm interested to see where this is going to have to stick the landing, wrap up wise too. But all 4 have been solid. It's been my book of the week a couple times, I think. It's not quite there this week because I read like 4 billion books. But yeah, good stuff. All right, Friday, number 1, the special collector's issue. I think this is a local comic shop day exclusive. It is. I think this was a digital one first. Ed Brubaker, Marcos Martin, Munza Vicente. Anyways, this is sort of okay. It's Ed Brubaker, so somebody's dead. There's a murder mystery, or there's not even a murder mystery in this one. Somebody's trying to do something, and then there's plucky ex-teens that are trying to solve it, and they have a past that's sort of the main character Friday keeps wanting to address and never does get addressed. Solid book. Enough here to get me hooked, and not enough to give away everything. But I thought it was a pretty darn good first issue. And I really actually like this cover a lot too. You get the Cooper Black typeface. You get the real simple black and white. I liked it. And yeah, it's the character Friday is frustrated, and rightfully so, I think. But you can sort of tell it's set in like a world where, oh yeah, people go along and help with the cops and solve crimes, and it seems like it's touching on like Nancy Drew or Encyclopedia Brown or the Hardy Boys a bit in a fun way, but with a little more grown up and relationshipy, if that makes any kind of sense. So, Friday. And if any of you are too young to know who they are, those characters are, well, you're probably not watching my channel. All right, Decorum number 8. I think this is the end of this part of it all. It should be. Hickman and Hiddleston. It's a gorgeous book. This is probably the best illustrated book of the week. Hiddleston's art is still amazing, and the style shifts in here are fantastic. And it's a big square bound book. I think might be a double issue wrap up of this part of it, and I'm sure it'll be back because it says at the end it'll be back in a different form. It does wrap things up. This one, again, I'm gonna have to go back and reread the first 7. It's Hickman, and he's being Hickman. He's dense. He's throwing around charts and graphs. He's playing around with structure. He's doing all these things, and it's been so damn long since issue number 7 that I had a tough time at first remembering some of what's going on. And I remember the main character and I remember like that kind of thing, but like some of the other plots, there's 2 or 3 plots that I get wrapped up in here that it took me about half the book to be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what this is wrapping up. It's still fantastic and it's still a lot of fun, but you could probably at this point I know I've said trade wait for everything, and we'd use the word definitely wrong about 12 times in this video, but you could trade wait this one. It'll probably come out in trade very soon because this I think is the end of this one, and you're better off getting it in that format. I think it'd read better, and I think of a better time with it. So, but it came real close to making my book of the week. So top 3. Hang on. Oh no, top 2. I got one left. Yay, we're almost there. And this technically came out last week. So I'm a big old cheater, people, but I don't care. It's my rules, my book, and it's the most enjoyable thing I read today. And that is Primordial number 3. Jeff Lemire, who's also in the middle of the stack. Andrea Sorrentino, Dave Stewart, and coloring. Cold War. There's the Cold War Russian dog, and Abel and Mrs. Baker, the monkeys, get sent into space. And this is an alternate version of what happened to them, and it's trippy and weird sci-fi, and it's a visual treat. And then there's also like the plot of what's going on Earth with the scientists trying to figure out what happened to, and it's an alternate history I think it's only 5 or 6 issues. It's a bit light on actual plot. I mean, it goes pretty quickly, and like Jeff is definitely giving Andrea room to flex visually, and the story is being told mostly visually, and I'm okay with that. I don't need every book to be super dense and super plot driven and super everything else, especially when it's as well done and well crafted as this, and as enjoyable. Now that said, like half the crap I said this week, you could probably wait for the trade paperback because it probably will read better. These month to months are getting like it's getting hard to sometimes justify just spending $4 to $5 an issue on these, and then like when you fly through them in enough time, or you have to revisit them later to enjoy it fully when it's done. Sometimes I think you're better off just like waiting for the trade paperback, especially if you're not speculating and you just want the reading experience. Just trade paperback. It's just like see what folks are reading, or like go to look at your LCS and say, hey, put me down for the trade paperback when it comes out. Support the LCS, but like you don't have to necessarily get every issue that comes out when they come out. Don't be me, folks. Be like other people. Be like smarter people, and whatever you do, don't be a dick, because life is rigged. Oh, look at that! It's a perfect goddamn wrap up. All right, try not to kill each other over the holidays, and if you do, hide the body well. Stuff it inside a turkey, or a turducken, or a tofurkin, or make it into stuffing. Anyways, that was not the perfect way to end this. But I will wrap it up by pointing you back to my website, taylorwinder.com, where you can get 15% off if you use code HORSEPILLS. All right. See ya. Oh, yeah, don't be a dick. And see ya.